Since the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, won the Universal Championship belt at WWE's Crown Jewel, all I have had on Twitter, Instagram DMs, and in the YouTube comment section is people asking, what's next for the Fiend? What's next for Bray Wyatt? What's going to happen to the Universal Championship? But hopefully we are going to be discussing and theorizing and coming up with some good ideas as to all those questions in this video, so stick around for that. But if you are new to the channel, I have to ask you right now, hit that subscribe button. I'm really loving the fact we're getting new subscribers every single day. I really do appreciate it, so thank you. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Watch the video, see what I've got to say, see if you can tweak them or come up with your own theories. I do genuinely read every single comment, so thumbs up, thank you for that. Of course, share the video. It's the best way for your friends to find it. I love doing that. I love seeing people sharing it. And of course, like the video. It really does help it rank up on YouTube. Now, I waited to make this video until after Smackdown because Funhouse Bray was scheduled to be a special guest on Miz TV. But unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, the majority of the WWE superstars who attended Crown Jewel didn't make it back to the United States in time for Smackdown. There was a lot of travel disruption or something, and therefore Bray wasn't able to attend. And that's kind of cool though, because it meant that it wasn't pre-recorded. Now, I was hoping this would be some storyline progression. This time last week, I made a theory video that maybe The Miz was the next big feud for The Fiend. It would make sense because we saw that Abby the Witch and we saw Mercy the Buzzard stalking The Miz backstage in the past, and at recent live events, The Fiend's been watching The Miz's matches, even attacking Cesaro, his opponent, twice. It made sense. But one thing we did find out on Smackdown was that Brock Lesnar quit Smackdown. Him and Paul Heyman quit Friday night. They quit Fox and they're going over to Smackdown. Oh, they're going over to Raw from Smackdown, and they're taking the WWE title with them because they want to challenge Rey Mysterio. They want to attack Rey, and Vince said they couldn't. Vince said Rey couldn't go to Smackdown. But we do know that there are some steel cage matches announced for Monday Night Raw this week, and I believe the week after as well, between The Fiend and Seth Rollins. Well, very simply, card is always subject to change. It's possible that these matches don't happen. It's possible one happens as a rematch, or neither happen on TV and they are just dark matches. Anything's possible with WWE. However, I don't feel like this rivalry between The Fiend and Seth Rollins is over. Do you know what I really want to see? I want to see them split. I want to see this absolutely be forgotten about. The Fiend do his own thing while Seth Rollins is on Raw, unable to get to The Fiend, and then Seth loses it. Seth attacks everyone until he's finally traded to SmackDown, and then they can rekindle their big rivalry. Let Seth refresh his character a bit. Now, with Survivor Series coming up this month, and NXT included, the match that everyone's theorizing could happen is the Universal Champion, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, versus WWE Champion, Brock Lesnar, versus NXT Champion, Adam Cole, baby. Now, I'm super over to watch this match. I think this would be a really good match. I really wouldn't want to be Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole. But in a match against The Fiend and The Beast, what kind of chance has he got? I personally, though, wouldn't book it like this. If you've got The Fiend as Universal Champion at Survivor Series, I don't know if you even want the Universal title on the line. The Fiend, however, could face Finn Balor, NXT's own. It would make perfect sense. They had their huge match at SummerSlam. Balor even referenced it this week on NXT. So it makes perfect sense that maybe this one's not done yet either. Maybe Balor steps up on like the side of NXT to take on a SmackDown star being The Fiend, And I think this could be really cool. Maybe Balor now knows exactly what he's got to do. We've already seen the heel turn from Balor. We've already seen the new change in attitude. So maybe he now knows how to beat the Fiend. Maybe we get the demon Finn Balor versus the Fiend. Maybe this could be the Fiend's first defeat. I don't see why not, because Balor's hot right now. And even as a demon or not a demon, I wouldn't mind seeing the Fiend lose to him, and it would get rid of a lot of the pressure that people are putting on the Fiend right now about him losing. Now, of course, the Universal Championship goes with the Fiend wherever he goes. We've already established now, we're pretty certain, although it's not 100% set in stone, that the Fiend Bray Wyatt is going to be exclusive to Smackdown. Now, this is kind of a strange one, because the Universal title looks like Raw. It's red. It makes no sense for it to be on SmackDown whatsoever. However, there is ways around this. Of course, there are the option of turning the championship blue. This is a custom championship of an AJ Styles blue Universal title belt. They could do it like that. However, there is the other option. We have talked about this in the past, of a custom title. And that's right, literally today, Bray Wyatt has tweeted about a custom championship, tagging Top Rope belts. If you don't know who they are, they make custom championships. And you can see the picture there of Bray Wyatt in the woods holding a custom championship. It's one we've looked at in the past on these theory videos. I don't see why Bray couldn't get a custom belt and that take the red away from the belt. Now, of course, one thing that this whole change in brands and things does do is that the Fiend is on SmackDown while Liv Morgan is on Raw. So it kind of does debunk this theory just a little bit, because you can't have Raw superstars on SmackDown, you can't have SmackDown superstars on Raw. However, why can't you have Raw superstars in the Firefly Fun House? Why can't you have SmackDown superstars in the Firefly Fun House? The Firefly Fun House could be co-brand. Why not have the Fun House where the Fiend is there with Liv Morgan, but they actually aren't on the same show? Maybe they only meet up at pay-per-views and you see them in the same ring at the same time on pay-per-view. That would make perfect sense. Why wouldn't it? And the thing is with WWE, the options for this are literally limitless. They could do anything they want, and I think people would accept it. Now, one thing a lot of people have been mentioning lately is maybe the inclusion of Paige. Obviously, Paige has just split from the Kabuki Warriors after they turned on her on Raw. It's possible that she could become Sister Abigail / Abby the Witch. Of course, I think she is the most likely, like looks-wise, if you was to fantasy book it, that Paige could be that role. I still want Liv Morgan, though. But no matter what and however Paige can play that role, I'd be up for it. Now, really what I do want to see from The Fiend right now is a return of the Firefly Fun House. I think WWE know this is a huge marketing opportunity. Look at the amount of merchandise The Fiend is selling. You cannot attend a wrestling show without seeing the Fiend merch. I went to MCM Comic Con last week and there was Fiend shirts and Fiend masks everywhere in London, England. It is crazy. It's such a huge thing that WWE would be silly not to capitalize on it. Of course, the Funhouse brings in huge YouTube views, not just for people like me, but for WWE, which they get a lot of money for. Not only that, if you went back to the Funhouse, it's possible you could introduce 1 or 2 new puppets, maybe play out the story a little bit more, maybe do some weird things. And of course, it keeps Bray off of TV. It keeps the Fiend off of wrestling. Because I've looked at the SmackDown roster, and if I was to fantasy book the Fiend for the next 12 months, I don't think I'd put him against anyone on SmackDown. Maybe The Miz. I mean, the most people I want to see him face is like Aleister Black. He's on Raw. Okay, maybe I want to see him face Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's not active. Matt Hardy isn't active. There's a lot of like oohs and ahs about him being on SmackDown. But nonetheless, The Fiend is still, for me, the greatest thing in WWE right now. And I kind of like that I don't know where it's going to go next, because if I could fantasy book and just tell you exactly what was going to happen, it would get very boring. This and all these theory videos are always just speculation, and that's what I really do like about it, is the fact that we can sit down as a community and theorize and come up with these great fantasy bookings for such an iconic, great character, and basically just let him in every single day. I absolutely adore it. I want to know, what do you think that Bray Wyatt should do next? Do you want to see a return full time, like for the next 8 weeks or something, of the Firefly Fun House? Do you want to see the Fiend face Finn Balor at Survivor Series? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. Peace!